the beginning of the show, we talked about how the grief, people can get over grief, and then 5 years later it comes up again, and they're going through the whole cycle again. Are there behaviors that people can exhibit that can prolong the grieving process?
Well, one thing comes to mind immediately, and that is drugs and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Some people tend to use that as like self-medication. They just don't want to think about it, and so we might start drinking or using. And that would definitely prolong it because you're not able to work through the healing process, not able to work through those stages.
Okay.
You're just kind of masking what you're feeling. So that's one thing you really want to be aware of.
Okay. And are there behaviors that, on the flip side, are there behaviors that people exhibit that can shorten that cycle?
When they're just willing to move forward, when they're willing to hear the support system, when they're willing to hear the therapist, they're open, and that's what, and they're going through their group counseling. That helps them go through the process. That helps them gain the tools that they need. That doesn't mean that they won't come back to it, but they'll have the tools to work through that stage if they go through it again.
Okay, thank you. New Year's will be here before you know it, and many people are already planning, who they're going to spend it with. It's kind of like, Valentine's Day. It's kind of couples focused.
Right.
If a person is a recent divorcee, or their spouse has recently passed, or a widower or a widow, is it too soon for a person to start dating again? The spouse passed away like a month before New Year's or during Christmas time or something.
It's all individual. Some people can start dating in a month. Some people it might take 2 years. And those people that love them should not judge them in either way, and should not push them or stop them if they feel that they're ready. If it ends up being a rebound relationship in 1 month, that just may be what the person has to go through. Help friends and loved ones and family, just help them get through it and help them to understand. And if that becomes painful, okay, but help them through it. But if a person feels that they're ready to date, I would not stop them.
Okay. If not ready to date, what are some good ways for recent divorcees or widowed persons to spend New Year's? What would you recommend?
Again, if it's that person that's shy and is okay with being at home, maybe invite a couple people with them if they want that. Isolation, if is causing the loneliness, push yourself to be with friends and family. You can do things like church events. There's usually some kind of religious activity going on New Year's in many different types of faiths. That is a good way to spend New Year's if you're not ready to go to the New Year's Eve party. But if you can, get out and spend it with friends and family.
Okay. Should the holiday season, including New Year's, be used as a time of inward reflection? A lot of people do that. They kind of focus on themselves, their resolutions, how they want to change themselves for the better, that sort of thing, rather than focusing on external relationships.
I think both can happen. We definitely always need to be looking at what's next for me. How can I, again, move forward? What's going to be the next step in my purpose in life? And those kinds of questions are okay to ask during this time of the season, during this time of the year. Also, relationships are great. They go kind of hand in hand. I wouldn't say one over the other. If you can do both, great.
Well, you made it all the way to becoming a doctor in your field. Are there any personal experiences that you would like to share with our audience that gave you strength, that will give them inspiration as they try to get through their own personal grief?
Yeah. When I think about grief and the stages, I think about my dad. He died in 1999, and I was going through life at that point. Life got in the way, and I really did not grieve for my father until about 6 years after he died. I was dealing with divorce, I was dealing with school, and I remember thinking when I finally grieved for him that, wow, why did this take so long? So some people might be asking themselves, well, I don't feel like other people feel. And you have to ask yourself, what's going on in your life that is keeping you from really going through the grieving process? And when I did grieve for my father, it was a release. I remember breaking down crying and saying, where did this come from? And was able to really deal with it and remembered from that point on some of the wonderful memories and really dealt with that and talked to my sisters a lot about that. So I just wanted to encourage everybody to remember the stages look different and it might take a long time to do it.
We just certainly thank you for your inspirational words, your professional advice about how to cope with loneliness and grief this holiday season.
Yes.
Certainly, I know that you've been helpful to our viewers, and we do hope that you will come back and visit us again.
I'd love to.
All right, thank you so much. Well, that does it for today's show. Please join us again next month for another discussion about relationships. And if you have a comment or a question about today's show, please visit our blog at www.relationships360blog.com. And while you're there, please answer our poll question and take advantage of the relationship tools that are on the site. Again, thanks again for watching. We'll see you again next time on Relationships 360. Relationships 360 is brought to you by Vision Marketing Communications. Where will your vision lead you? www.vision.com. Hair provided by More Than a Style Hair Salon, located at 117 West 95th Street in Overland Park, Kansas, just north of Oak Park Mall. Visit online at www.stylesbysheila.com. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Jolie Makeup Artist. Visit online at www.joliemakeupartist.com.